up, everybody?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Before we begin, please follow us on everything. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can hear us on Spotify, watch us on YouTube, listen to us on iTunes, Deezer,
SoundCloud, even.
Still a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, please, as always, try to interact with us as much as possible. We interact back, and that interaction creates the awareness for everyone to discuss any type of either opinions, situations.
Right. Yeah, we're trying to create a platform, and it only works if you guys pitch in, give us your feedback, and let us know what you guys think.
Absolutely.
If we're doing a good job, bad job, we can take the criticism and the feedback. So, yeah. That being said,
Let us begin.
this week's episode is going to be how does social media affect dating?
Damn, that was a lot longer than what I was used to. Okay.
Really?
that title wasn't what we discussed.
Yeah,
but
and
we'll roll with it.
We roll with it. We go with it. Yeah, social media and dating. How does it affect dating world?
Yeah, we should go from like start to finish. Like how it's good now, especially.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well,
Cool.
yeah. You want to go jump in?
No, start it.
Okay.
Start us off.
Okay. Well, social media, and I think in its essence, it's just a platform. It's a tool for people to connect, and I think it's a beautiful thing nowadays. People can from all over the world. You can meet somebody in Sweden, and then you follow them or interact with them on social media, and you can find your soulmate. So I think in its essence, social media can be a great tool, but obviously some people they misuse it or they abuse it, and then that kind of gets like a bad rep where social media is bad. So, they kind of stigmatize it as being this thing where the cheaters are born. But if you want to cheat, you're gonna cheat regardless, right? So ultimately, I think social media can be pretty good.
Well, for starters, I mean, the beauty of social media, like Marvin said, is that it really connects you to the world,
Right.
anywhere, all over the world, from celebrities to Instagram influencers that are technically, celebrities at this point as well. That's where they get a lot of their publicity from. But then you can just meet about anybody. Also, in dating and relationships, social media, I think, is the outlet now. We've discussed before that people are afraid to like kind of make an approach or to kind of go up to talk to people. What's the right way to do it?
Right.
And then I've even read other things where like people are like, the way to shoot your shot now on social media is just like make sure your story is the post that you put for your story, whatever you upload on your story, is good enough for someone to then write to you.
Right.
So with social media, there's a lot of different possibilities for you to connect with people, and shooting your shot is one of them. I mean, DMing people. Yeah, we went over this before, where you have a bunch of followers, so you have more exposure, so then you'll probably get more people than say I would. I would say I'm more of an average account where they get a lot of people going and DMing and stuff like that, and it's really a beautiful thing, but it can also be, I think, a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, and I think it could definitely be taxing in some instances, but ultimately you just have to kind of navigate through it, communicate, and at the end of the day, I mean, you have to trust the person you're with. Easier said than done sometimes, because social media kind of creates that competitive market where you always, there's always, you always see, you always say it on Instagram, people only post the highlights of their life.
Yeah.
So, the
like
best
a highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you always say that, and I truly I believe it. And you go on Instagram or whatever, and so much competition. Who got the best bodies, the nicest houses, the biggest cars, and so when you're dating somebody, I think that kind of could triple down into that as well. Or let's say you're dating somebody, they have a big following, and they're gonna get messaged a bunch of times, and they have more opportunities to kind of. I think that's what it is, an opportunity for them to kind of, dip their toe into that field. But I mean, ultimately, I think it does boil down to trust, but it can be tricky because there is more competition out there, right? Versus traditionally speaking, when there wasn't as much social media out there, you're with somebody and you're with them. And nowadays, it's just like you get into an argument, you get upset at they get into a fight. You can go on Instagram, you can go on Twitter, whatever, or whatever it is, Tinder or these apps. You can just swipe and I'll talk to somebody and vent to somebody. And
Yeah,
so it's
the ability to communicate is exponentially
so much
from
broader
what it used to be. I mean, now you're able to really, like you were kind of saying it there, where if you get into an argument or something's just not right, like you can literally just look for anybody. Like,
right. So I think there's more temptation, right? Overall,
more temptation and just more availability.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely.
more opportunity to do it as well. When it comes to dating itself, obviously, people shoot their shot normally through there now. They DM what's the right DM. Everyone's trying to figure out what's the right formula, and then it's like if one doesn't work, just go to the next one. You can just continue that kind of flow. In fact, I saw a post the other day where it's like, females say, oh, he's in every girl's DM, and then the guy says, well, what am I supposed to do? Stop looking for my soulmate because you didn't reply? Fuck you. No. So it's like, there's a lot of opportunity for you to just continue, jumping, trying to look for somebody. Now, if we shift that to a relationship, once you're in a relationship, that could be a threat as well. However, like you said, it does come down to trust.
It does, yeah. I mean, I think sometimes social media could trigger some insecurities. I remember, I had, there were relevant for me, in my relationship, in my past relationship, where, I think I did tell you that where, we would text or whatever, and this person wouldn't respond, but she would be on social media. And so it's like, you
can't reply to me, but you're posting on
exactly
social media,
you're posting or
liking.
You're liking. Back then you could still see what people would like and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was being, was being an idiot about that, obviously.
Yeah, man. When they take that feature off, it's like, what did I say? Cheaters have entered the chat.
Yeah.
Say they got super excited.
Come up. But
yeah, there was nothing to really kind of, you could hide it. It was pretty much just being put out there for like, hey, by the way, this person like this. Look, let's continue connecting and expanding a network of what people are doing.
Right.
So now it's a little bit hidden. So I think the privacy is a little bit better.
But
it's also you were gonna say it. I think.
It's a double-edged sword.
Exactly. It goes into the other side where it's like, oh, now I don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. I know, like with Twitter, it's still you can go through people's favorites, up to anyone's, and so that still shows. I know a lot of people argue over social media. In my past relationship, we did it quite frankly often, and then there was a point I think I did tell you that we kind of mutually agreed that we get rid of Twitter. And it was fun. Yeah. While it lasted, it was like a couple of months, and actually it was refreshing at some point. After a couple of days, you realize you're actually hooked on this app, and then you get rid of it, and it's like, man, this is actually quite nice. So we did have Instagram, we kept it, but Twitter we kind of got rid of it, and then I don't know what happened. Like at some point we got it when we were traveling and stuff like that, but. Yeah, because we were fighting. It wasn't about dumb stuff, and then it's like we got rid of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, why'd you like this person's stuff, or who's this person that tweeted you?
Yeah, well, who's that person always favoring your stuff, or you tweeting your stuff? Just like little petty stuff, right? But I don't know. Ultimately, I don't think social media. It may expose the imperfection of the relationship. It makes it maybe more profound, but I don't think exactly social media is the root issue. Saying which we said, if people are gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat, right? You always told me that.
Yeah, there's no reason to stress over it. If they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat regardless.
Exactly.
Drive yourself crazy.
And it's something that you would always tell me, and it's true, And if whether they have access to Instagram or Twitter or whatever, if they don't have that, or they can probably meet somebody on the street or at work, whatever. But if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I know there was a question. I think somebody said, "Would you delete social media?"
Oh yeah, someone did have. Well, no, I don't know if they asked me directly. I think, I did my homework. I was like going through Instagram and so another page had posted it, and there was some people who actually said rare. They would say, oh yeah, I would definitely delete my Instagram because totally with no complaints because social media isn't as important as my relationship. But it's like, why
does it have to come down to you keeping social media in the relationship?
It's not even about social media. It's like, what is the threat? What's the root that's causing the threat for social media? I do remember me personally, not just myself, but even other people. I'm going to say two quick stories. One of them was myself. I actually was dating someone, a couple years ago, and I deleted my social media completely because then again, I was a huge piece of shit, always in the wrong, always doing what I wasn't supposed to be doing. I wasn't a saint, but I said, you know what, let me just kind of purge this out of me. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm just going to delete it so I don't even have the temptation.
But this was on your own accord. This wasn't because she's like, hey, Christian, I want you to delete it.
Yeah, right? No. I did it myself because, but then again, I had already been, I kind of fucked her over already. So I'm like, you know what, if this could continue being a threat and it was more back then, but even now it could be a thing because there was the other story that I was going to say is one of my friends, someone had I guess mentioned them or tagged them, or it's like, click at, and the first person that pops up owes you something, and it's someone else can then screenshot this, send over here, or someone else can find it, and it's like if you're in a relationship and someone else is doing that, especially from the opposite sex, it could be like, okay, are these people still, commenting you or writing to you or mentioning you? What kind of relationship do you have? Me, I just kind of eliminated myself from that. It was still difficult, kind of because the relationship didn't base my, everything on social media. It still failed, but it was my thought of, okay, maybe if I just remove myself from the equation, which is, it's better from the beginning to avoid than to get into it and then try to, salvage.
Right.
If you can avoid it from the beginning, it's the best way. I try to just say, you know what, I know I'm deep into the problem, but if I can just remove myself now and just take it all away, there will be no temptation, there will be no issues. And ultimately it did fail. Did it make it a little bit better? Yes. But in the long term, in the long run, it ultimately it wasn't the sole purpose. Me deleting social media did not salvage my relationship.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I guess you tried, but I mean, at that point,
It's the whole purpose of this. Social media shouldn't be it could be a beautiful thing or it could be a very dangerous thing, and that's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be forced to do anything for a healthy relationship. You have to be able to understand that the health should come from one's own. You should be healthy yourself. Remember, we always talk about it. Like, I shouldn't be fitting your happiness, and you shouldn't be fitting my
I agree.
happiness.
Yeah.
You should be happy. I should be happy, and then together we should grow happy.
Create something
together.
great. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree. And another thing is, like, especially when you meet somebody, you got to be aware, like, if you meet somebody and they have a big audience and they rely heavily on their social media, which nowadays so many people do.
Yeah, a lot of businesses.
Yeah, businesses or even guys,
marketing,
and girls, who get sponsored, or fitness models.
Or they use Instagram as a business, or to support their business.
Exactly, or to try to create something. And so these people, they have to put out constant content, and they have to interact, and they have to do this and da da da.
Yeah, they really need to be active on.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't come in to that in their life and be like, oh, like, and then talking, and then talking about, like, why you're talking about social media like it's something like somewhat of a bad thing. This is their tool to create something that they want in life, and you have to be okay with that. And if you can't, then from the get-go you have to kind of I guess part ways with them. But like, social media at its essence is just that. It's just a tool, and some people will use it in a great way and they will create something great, and other people will abuse it and they'll do stuff they shouldn't be doing. But if you come down to it, and it comes down to, hey, you have to delete the social media or the relationship is not working, that's a different, the root issue is not social media.
Yeah, I wrote that. I said, why delete it? I mean, it's like, has the person deleting, have they made mistakes that you're being requested to delete it? Are you the toxic one that's always on your phone, doing poor things in the relationship, that's forcing the other person to ask that of you? Are you always on? You're not being active within the relationship. You're more on your phone, unless it's a business. Are you flirting? Are you hiding something? Are you being sketchy with social media? What is it that they're posting? If it's together, that in a relationship. I think we had talked about it a while back, where it was if you did have social media and I didn't, or if we both had social media, when would you post someone? That's another thing, because if you're dating, should one just have their own thing? And it also depends on their business and their following, and if they're trying to create a business out of it. But if you're in a relationship, do you post? Do you not post? When do you post?
And how much you post?
How much would you post? Who was in the post?
Yes.
What's in the post?
Oh, you haven't posted me in 5 days, or like it's.
That's where things start to get probably toxic.
Right, and if you have to nitpick and kind of like schedule your relationship to be shown off to the public, that's when you're heading into a dangerous territory, if you ask me, because that's not healthy, and it's not beneficial for either person, for you or for the other person. So you really got to be careful with that. But I think social media, sometimes it can be tricky, but I don't think it could be a downfall to a relationship.
I mean, what if you meet someone? I mean, you're heavy on Instagram, and then you meet someone that's not even on Instagram. I think we said it a while back as well, where if what was it?
The thick work, I guess.
If you have an Instagram, you have a large following. I know what I was gonna say. That women they're like, oh man, that doesn't have social media, or that doesn't have Instagram. That's the best. I would love that. But then let's think about the two sides, because one, it's like, what, there's less temptation because they're not really looking around, they're not involved, they don't know what's going on in the world when it comes to that field. But then there's also, like, I also don't know what you're doing. I also don't know where you are. I also don't know what you're posting, because there also comes, like, for example, if you and I are out and you have social media and you tag me in something, then someone could be like, oh, Chris is there.
Right.
You know, if you don't have social media, then
No,
that
no.
would never happen.
Yeah, but like it's ironic because a lot of those girls who say that they do have a large following like on social media, and it's like
Yeah.
so it's okay for you to have it, but the person that you ideally want,
I like the way that you brought that up because
right?
you know what
It's
what I think.
ironic.
It's almost that the girls, in this case, we'll use your example, that the girls like, I know what negativity can come from having a large following on Instagram and being on Instagram. That I don't want you to be that kind of guy
Exposing
that I'm
and
seeing
then exposing
and
even
then
that.
exposing. It could be that.
It could be.
That's probably why they want someone, you know.
So like low key.
Yeah, because it's like no, not so much like that. Like I'm saying, like let's say I have a large following,
Mm-hmm.
and in my DMs there's a plethora of women, right? The girl could say, you know, oh, you know, whatever, social media, this and this, and I can tell her, you know what, I'd rather you not have social media because what I have in my DMs, it's creepy as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's
I'd rather
insane.
you not be one of those people who is in other people's DMs because I'm afraid that you could turn into that person. It could be why the large, you know, the
Right,
women with
right,
the large
right,
following
right.
could say, oh, I don't want a guy with social media because it's like you see what it is. Like I've seen a lot of these influencers that have a lot of followers, and the things that they comment on some of their pages are gross.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it could be like, oh, I don't want you to be exposed to that, or I don't even want you to be something like that because I know how ugly it could be.
Yeah,
Could
that is true.
Yeah,
that is
right.
true.
You know me, I'm always trying to play around with the way people think.
Right. The scenarios. No, I mean, I hear you. I mean, for me, I mean, social media, like that one time where we deleted it and it
Did it help?
Yeah,
It did help.
it
Right?
did. It did. It was refreshing, actually.
When you guys downloaded it again, did it become like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a problem again?
Yeah, it kind of resurfaced. I was like, oh, like why? Like, and I would get it first, and she's like, oh, why do you get it? And I would get it because like it was right before we would travel, and so I would post, and then like I would keep it when we get back. And she's like, oh, like why? And it wasn't for anything inappropriate or anything like that. It's just, but once you get on, it's. I mean, it could be funny. Like social media could be
Yeah, man.
easy
There's
way
a lot of people that just dedicate themselves to like making memes, or
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
just
you
have
can
that
see some-
one tweet that's
Yeah, you can see some funny ass stuff on there. But so I guess I can kind of see both sides. But ultimately, if if it would have come down to the relationship or the social media, that's a huge red flag where I'm like, okay, we got to look at it different. Like we got to sit down and talk about the whole relationship itself,
Yeah.
not social media. That has nothing to do really essentially to do with our downfall if this is happening, right? So, I mean, ultimately, if you trust that person, then social media shouldn't really have an impact, right? I know it could be tricky, and sometimes the noise, the outside noise, especially if you're dating somebody attractive,
Yeah.
it could be tricky, right? You're dating an attractive person, you have a large following. Sometimes but then it's the other person's kind of also responsibility. Reassurance is a big one. Like let this person know how much you care about them and how involved you are, right, with the relationship. But I guess that social media can trickle down a little
Oh,
bit.
I remember. Yeah, like for example, one of the things was sometimes social media can be an issue, but like maybe your partner can ask you for your phone, but it's like if you know you're not doing anything wrong,
Yeah.
you ask. Okay, look, why are you asking me? What doubt do you have? What's your concern? That's where, because you really have to identify. It's not social media that's pissing that person off. It could be what your actions are, maybe on social media or maybe doing something else. That it could be, oh, he's also doing it on social media as well. So if you're not doing anything wrong, you have the conversation beforehand, and then you can say, you know what, here's my stuff. Did you find anything? No, I did not. Do you understand? You don't have to worry about my phone anymore. You don't have to worry about my social media. Don't make this a big deal. We've already identified the issue. Let's resolve that.
Right, and then we'll move forward on.
Yeah.
Right. I like that. Yeah, but I guess most people who then like, hey, let me see the DMs or let me see, phone. It's usually something else that's triggering. A lot of times people don't just act like that for no
Yeah, that's what I was
reason.
saying. That's
Right.
what I was,
Right.
like the direction that I was
Yeah,
going.
no, yeah. So I guess that's the way you have to approach it. Yeah, I never really had. Moving forward, I don't think I would put so much emphasis on social media in regards to as far as the relationship is concerned.
No, I honestly think social media is going to be almost a new norm. Depending, obviously, the situation that we're in, we're relying on like video calls and like emails. Like we're removing ourselves from in-person interaction.
Right, that's true.
Where social media is going to be very important, and I think that just being aware of whoever it is that you do meet. I think another thing is as well. It's like if you do meet someone on social media, if they are loyal and you know that you can trust them, it won't be an issue. But just know that if they met you on social media, you're not the only person that they could meet on social media as
Oh,
well.
of course. Or you're not the first person that they have met on social media and stuff like that. So I mean, you got to be aware of it. But um, ultimately, yeah, I don't like vilifying social media like it's like causing all these issues in modern day dating when it has made things a lot easier for people,
Yeah.
but it's made things easier for people. But the true person, the person who they really are, will always come out, whether it's on social media or the workplace or wherever.
It could be very delicate. I wrote something else down that I saw in one of these memes or one of these posts that it was like let's say you're talking to someone and it's like, when do you post someone? Like when do you put them on social media?
Yeah.
And,
Dude, what do
it's
you think?
it's funny because it says like when your girl wants y'all to take a picture together and post it, and you know you're about to lose all your hoes. And it was a picture of like Drake with I forgot who it was, but he was like smiling like this, like he didn't want to be there, like fuck, I'm gonna get exposed type
Exactly.
shit.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's funny because I tweeted the other day about it not too long. I was like, oh, I post us on a wedding day. Like I tweeted it jokingly, obviously, but and I got so much. Like, I got a lot of like traction. And people. I mean, it's funny, obviously, but for me to post somebody, it would take a lot. Like, cause I kind of I don't say I want to judge people, but like I see people posting like they've been talking for like a week, and then they post that person. I'm like, bro,
It's like a revolving door almost
yes,
of like someone
dude,
else.
and then it's like then things don't work out. Then you gotta delete the pictures. Then it's the next guy, and then the next thing you know, people see everybody you've dated, and it's like a dozen people in like 6 months.
Well, yeah,
And
there
I'm
was
like,
another post that I saw. It says don't announce it. In this case, post it. Don't announce it unless you know it's gonna stick.
Yeah.
Don't announce it unless you know it's gonna stay, because
Yeah.
you're constantly posting different things, or you're constantly. And it also depends, because if you have a large following, you kind of feel like you have to put out content. It seems easy that if you're with someone else, that you could just post them. But at the same time, you could also be giving yourself a negative look or a negative image by constantly, if you are dating someone else and you gotta post them, or like you meet someone else and that relationship ends, and then the next week you post somebody else. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look. Yeah, like so for me, like I gotta be with somebody for a long time for me. And it's different between hiding the person and having a private life in regards to that.
True.
In regards to that area of your life. So I'm a firm believer of not posting just anybody that you date after a couple of weeks or even a couple of months. Like, no. And I know that there's some people, even we know some people who heavily they post a lot of content and they have a large following, and they don't post their partner that often because they have a certain image to hold up on, and posting their partner would probably help with they will lose a couple of followers, right? Like a lot of girls in the industry, some girls who they're models and stuff like that. They have to hold up a certain.
They get married, or sometimes when they even get pregnant is another thing where it's like they post that and then they may even lose followers because people are just following them because they're hot. And like if they get pregnant, it's like, oh wait, she had a man this whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
She's pregnant.
Have you seen those memes where it's like or like those tweets or memes? It's like. A girl posts, their boyfriend or whatever. It's like, oh, unfollow, pregnant, unfollow.
Have you done that?
I have done that.
I have done that.
I have done that.
I'll proudly say it.
Yes, I've done it. I just
Sorry. Yeah. I followed you for one reason.
You got it. Deuces.
Yeah.
What a blast.
That is what it is.
But anyways, I mean, you want to add anything to it? I think.
No, I mean, like we've said, social media can be very delicate. At the end of the day, trust your partner before anything. If you don't have social media and you don't want your partner to have social media, don't look for a partner that has social media.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is you'd start dating that person, and then you're like, hey, by the way, I want you to delete social media. Like, no, you met them, they have social media, and they have every right to continue social media. Now, if they do something on social media that you deem inappropriate, then it's yours. You can exit the relationship or part ways, but you can't tell this guy, oh, like delete it, or this girl, or whatever, they delete social media. That's not the answer here.
I think it comes down to really getting to know your partner of who they are, because down the line, if you discover something down the line of a deep relationship that you didn't know before, whose fault is that? Is it the person because they did what they did, or is it your fault for not really getting to know the person that you're dating? And this can come down to social media. If they have social media and then all of a sudden, you see that they're posting and you kind of say, oh, it's not a big deal, not a big deal. But then down the line, you're like, okay, it's starting to bother me. Why allow yourself to get in that position in the first place and really stick to that?
Yeah.
So you kind of make excuses. I think we had a conversation before where you kind of, it's like love is blind, but in another sense that you kind of are blind. Like you put a blind eye to certain things, brush them under a rug. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. But, then you just explode because it has been bothering you.
Right.
And if you knew that from the get, you really understand who it is that you're with. It can really avoid.
Makes things a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's easier to walk away after a couple of weeks than after a couple of years, sometimes even.
Yeah, you're right.
You really got to be aware of, what you're willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with.
Yeah.
And just follow your heart, do that.
I feel like we got a lot of things that we're missing, but I can't think of them.
I don't know. Yeah.
Something feels off.
Something.
But you know what? It can always be a part 2.
Yeah,
and,
for sure. I think
we can always have, when we start having guests in the future,
not
not ideal right now. And I don't want to do no Zoom call or whatever.
No.
I think the beauty of it is to really have people, face to face. And, when we get the proper equipment, the studio and all that stuff, when we can really dig deep into people's lives.
Yeah, and have, people from all over, all walks, all kinds of walks. And
I have a list of people that I would love to reach out. And if we can actually create that, then, we'll really, all the questions that we ask, we may not have all the experience. I know a lot of people have told us, like, oh, you guys aren't married. I wish you guys would have had someone who is married as a guest when you guys talked about.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, and we will.
Yeah, we will down the line, but it won't even be like this episode series that we do. I think it would be something that we could say, you know what? We're going to do like a 1 hour, 2 hour show where we can just talk about your life. For example, someone in the nightlife industry. Tell us everything that you've gone through, your worst, your best, and then we'll ask certain questions as we go along to really uncover, the different things that really occur in people's lives on different industries. And you'll see that a lot of people are very relatable, but there's also going to be a lot of situations that are going to be like, I did not know that this was even possible.
Yeah. So we'll have different, specific topics, but also we'll broaden up and have people coming on and kind of speak about their experience. Absolutely. I know people ask me every week, when are you guys going to have guest speakers on? And right now it's tricky. Yeah. We're still under quarantine, so bear with us, but we will make it happen and we'll have people on and it's going to be great.
End of the show.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys. Thank you so much.
Guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's content. We hope you guys enjoyed the show.
And if you did, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And follow us on every other social media platform. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Go ahead and follow us, leave us a comment, and any feedback helps. Whatever you leave us, we'll be able to touch up on another show, or we'll be able to get back to you with any other comments. Thank you.
Thank you guys.